I think we may already have found the treasure. The treasure is permission to follow your process. How lovely for you to witness this. Take what I'm saying with a pinch of reality. I'm learning there's treasure in a ramble. I keep trying to make myself be succinct, plan something, script something, go somewhere, do this thing, and it's all going to work out great, but I can't really quite plan it, and I can't really quite, even if it is planned, make sense. And I think I'm learning, and so what I want to tell you, give you permission, as well as giving myself permission, is this is the way I need to process things. I need to say things in a roundabout way. I need to say them verbally. I need to say them to other people sometimes, but not always. But I need to say them, and forcing myself to do it in a different way. No matter how much planning I do, how exacting the script, how precise the timings, I just can't make myself fit in them. Even though I made them, my brain does work okay. It just needs to take a run up, I think. Yeah, that's what's happening. I'm not a sprinter. I can't just hear the gun and go. I need to amble along, pick up speed. And eventually I do start to make sense. And eventually some gems come out. But I can't just do it straight off the bat. I have to go through all of this bit. So, welcome to my ramble, where hopefully there's treasure. I think we may already have found the treasure. The treasure is permission to follow your process. It might be frustrating to you, and it also might be frustrating to others, but it can be endearing, and that is just the way that it is. I've practiced real hard. I know I'm very capable of many complicated words all strung together. But that usually doesn't come until the middle of something after I've gone on about something else. Here I am doing that again. How lovely for you to witness this. The treasure here is the permission to, just picking up some litter, Frenchy, permission to let your process be your process, and that it needs to process the way that it needs to process. And I suppose this is about unmasking, isn't it? It's all very well me saying this, walking alone in the woods with only a camera and a bunch of invisible people for company, but you can't go and work on a customer service helpline and expect the customer to allow you your processing time. Grace. I believe I will talk a lot about grace. There are times where it probably isn't appropriate to just keep rambling, and it won't feel comfortable to, and actually might even be dangerous to. Like, take what I'm saying with a pinch of reality. The ideal, which utopia, in utopia, we would all be living our ideal lives in our ideal environments, in our ideal relationships. Clearly, we do not live in utopia. But I think as a trend to be working towards, to keep in mind, to hold as a possibility, and to be the thing to not necessarily strive for, but to always be working towards, just for the benefit of yourself. It doesn't have to be for anybody else, but to allow my process to be what it is. And I've tried this enough times now to know that I'm not wasting time in the preparation that I'm doing that I'm not able to follow once I get to the environment that I said that I was going to come to in my plan. I think it is all a necessary part of the work, but the final result is never going to be a polished sit down, talk to camera, recite a script that I've memorized. Because every time I try and recite a script that I've memorized, well, I haven't memorized it very well, and I always try and ad lib. And actually, once I get into a flow, I know that it does flow. It might go around about the houses, but it flows, and I think eventually it does make sense. So I'm giving myself permission to just do that. So my introduction that I just did put onto Instagram to say who I am and what I'm offering was very different to the 10 or so takes that I took before. And now I'm doing this long form video that's 5-6 minutes long. And I've stopped because I'm looking at a tree that I really like the look of. I want to complete my point, and I can hear some people coming, so now I'm getting all self-conscious. Anyway, the treasure in this ramble. Your process is your process. Try and get to know it. Try and allow it as much as possible, with the caveat that it isn't always possible, it isn't always safe, it isn't always desirable, and you might not even know what your process is. Today is the day that I've learned, and I am beginning to accept that this is my process. I am very self aware. I have done a lot of work in getting to know myself and my processes. But today is the day, years and years later, that I'm like, oh, this is how I work best. And it may also be, this is how I work best today. It might be different on a different day. I've also been learning about my menstrual cycle and how my hormones affect me week to week, month to month. And there's a lot going on there as well. Give yourself grace, but open up your attention. What is your process? What is the best way for you to do the things, to say the things, to think the things, to find the things um, that that feels good, that is in your best interest? It's snowing. There's a treasure.